the weekly Chronicles of C.S. Lewis, looking at what happened in his life over the years. Highlights this week include 1 posthumous book was published, 2 paperback debuts, and 1 book debuted in the U.S. 65 years after its first publication. The paperback edition of Reflection of the Psalms became available on the 2nd in 1961. Initially published in 1958, it is the only book he wrote devoted to an entire book of the Bible. This work wasn't an exhaustive study of the Psalms, as the title clearly states. Readers of only his material defending the Christian faith will notice this book is more reflective and devotional. Screwtape Proposes a Toast, a book collecting shorter works, features the title essay and 7 more selections. First released on January 4, 1965, this posthumous work is a book Lewis put together before his death. It is now out of print, but all the essays are in other collections. The lead essay is frequently found in some editions of the Screwtape Letters. In 1944, on the 6th, The Abolition of Man was reprinted after just debuting before the end of the previous year. The content was initially presented as 3 talks in February 1943. The original addresses were given to a mainstream audience, so it doesn't contain any overt Christian content. Rather, it defends the existence of an objective moral code without appealing directly to the Bible. The U.S. edition of Spirits in Bondage made its debut this month. This poetry book had never been published in the United States until after Lewis's death. It was released on the 6th in 1984 with a new preface by Walter Hooper. When first released in 1919, the credited author was Clive Hamilton. It was written during a time when Lewis didn't embrace the Christian faith. Another book, written later in Lewis's life, came out on the 7th in 1963 in paperback. The Four Loves was published in 1960, and it expanded on a 10-part radio series that discussed only the 4 Greek words for love. During his life, Lewis wrote many essays on various topics for Christian and mainstream publications. If you were a subscriber to the Covington Evening Telegraph in 1945, you would have found an article by him in their first issue that year on the 3rd. Religion and Science presents an imaginary dialogue between Lewis and a friend who has a skeptical view of miracles, especially the virgin birth. It is now best found in a collection of essays book entitled God in the Dock. Another short selection by Lewis appeared this week for the first time. On the 5th of January in 1945 in The Guardian, the 9th installment of a new fictional work was published. The series was called Who Goes Home, or The Grand Divorce. It had begun in late November 1944. Later it became better known as part of the book The Great Divorce. A significant event in Lewis's life occurred on the 7th in 1955. The previous year he was elected chair of medieval and Renaissance literature at Cambridge Magdalen College. On this date, he spent his first night in Cambridge, although his appointment officially began on the 1st of that year. Next time, learn about something connected to mere Christianity that happened, also an event related to World War I, and 3 books that came out.